the legal team, Geek Sensei,
history, bro.
Raven, Sam, Mr. Blitzstick.
You three, man.
Yeah. You man about that.
We are live, guys. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitztech,
Revenue GSJ, 1/3 of the Southlands.
and welcome to your edition of Free DLC, where we're talking about the Game of the Year nominees and who do you think is going to win, because this lineup for me is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, let me run down the winners or the nominees for this year and see who's going to win. In December, we've got Alan Wake 2 from Remedy. We've got Baldur's Gate from Larian Studios. We've got The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from Nintendo. Marvel Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games. Resident Evil 4 from Capcom. And Super Mario Bros. Wonder also from Nintendo. Now, there are some people I feel like shouldn't be here at all. There are some games I feel like they are missing. And for me, I'm like, who the hell is going to win out of this? And it definitely should not be Zelda for starters. But guys, what are you saying anyway? Who you think is going to win? Is there a game you think should be on the list?
That's crazy. I was more so going to ask, who do you think does not belong there?
One, I say Zelda.
Why?
That's crazy, man.
Like I said, like,
we had this conversation before,
we've had
but
this discussion.
but-
I'm glad you're going to put
yeah,
a video
yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm going to say one, Zelda for us to be there because it feels like they hasn't really pushed, let's say, gaming to be game of the year. Graphically, doesn't push anything. Now, I bang on about graphics all the time. I say you don't have to be the best graphics to be the best game.
Which is crazy.
Yada, yada, yada.
No, which is crazy as part of your argument that Zelda can't be game of the year because the graphics haven't been pushed forward.
Yeah.
That's why it's crazy
Like-
to me, because you stay on graphics don't make.
That's why
games.
I believe more in art design
Okay.
and the way the game looks rather than graphically. So from
Okay.
the first one to this one, bruv, I feel like I look at both of them, I'm like, you ain't changed your art design
Because
in
that's
anything.
bruv, and I
So
feel
that's how you innovating for Game of the Year
And
and nominated twice.
this is the point, Sam. You said art design matters. They have found an art design that they believe is their art design, and they've stayed there.
But
That's
but you haven't elevated it. Like I feel like
don't-
every other game here from the previous
I hear
iteration
what
to the
you're
next
talking
one
about in terms of
has changed their art design.
but that doesn't mean that they're correct in doing it, and it doesn't mean that it makes their game any better at all. And this is what's crazy to me as the graphics whore explaining the graphics art design situation.
Nah.
You're saying
Mhm.
that a company should find an art design. They found an art design way
Mhm.
back when.
Mhm.
They were even like, bruv, we don't actually have to change anything. And the reason why I think Zelda should be on there is because you can do anything in a game.
That's been done before as well. I was going to get to that point. That's been done in other games. Just because it's been done in Zelda also doesn't elevate anything.
It does elevate Zelda, bro. It elevates Zelda.
And they've been trying to patent that, bro. That's crazy.
It elevates Zelda. To be honest, like, bruv, I don't love the direction where like Zelda's gone in general. Like, I haven't played a Zelda game since it was, I want to say almost proper Zelda, where you just ran around and shot a bow and arrow and stuff. But now, if they want you to be able to make floating cars and fly to like mountains in the sky and stuff like that, bruv, and they've given you the access to do it in a game, I don't think it's crazy, fam. They've given you like an open platform. It's like what you see when Minecraft was going crazy. It was like, oh, you can do anything. I feel like that's what they've done with Zelda, and I feel like they have pushed their IP forward and they have pushed gaming forward in terms of what you can do in that world, bro. So I'm not mad at them.
No, I'm not. Like, okay, you're not mad at them, but it's like Minecraft wasn't nominated for when they did that stuff. But then here we are with Zelda.
I mean, it's not
because
all-
it's Zelda. They'd be like, oh, Zelda's doing it.
It's
Let's
not
put them on that
all
pedestal.
games. All games aren't created equally. You get me?
No,
So
they-
I'm not gonna be like, oh, this game did it and they're not here. But
That's why I'm saying, like, for me personally, Zelda feels like a PS3 game. Like, they don't, I don't even blame the platform of the Switch. Also, I've seen Switch ports like Mortal Kombat 1, where the graphics can't look like for like 4K, like PS5 4K stuff. That's why I'm like, good. Get your art design, like Super Mario Wonder, the art design from, let's say, Galaxy to Wonder changed dramatically. I'm like, boom, that's how you make a game look like a game that's to be Game of the Year. With the same kind of platform style
this is the
everything.
this is the
But
point,
But
bro.
with Tears of the Kingdom, bro,
This
they're
is the
like you said,
point.
they just been
They're
like this.
This is the point. They're not trying to, and I think that is the point they're trying to make by doing it. It's like, bruv, you can't say, oh, do an art. They did an art style. They've got an art design, and they've stuck with it. And I think that's cool. Like, it's like, bro, like people who make anime, like, bro, it's the best part of it is when you watch the anime and consistently the same all the way through. The ones where the episode changing back and forth. They know what their thing looks like. They know what it should do, and it does it. So I don't think outside of that, I'm not really hearing a real reason why it shouldn't be. But and it's Zelda, bruv. Zelda's gonna be game of the year in the conversation every year, bruv. Every year they drop.
It's Zelda. That's also crazy,
Bruv, they built their brand correctly.
What, you were saying something about them patenting something?
Yeah, so the stuff that you can do, like you're saying, create cars and this and that and the other, they were trying to patent that so no one else can do it.
That's wild.
Anyone doing that, like they ain't the first people to do it. There's other studios to be like, oh, did Batman try and do that?
Everyone tries to pattern the thing. They try to pattern the Arkham like combat system bouncing, and bruv, that's like, normal business practices, bro. Like, normal business practices.
That's crazy, but yeah, personally for me, Zelda, no way. But what are you man saying? Anything that should be on the list, something that you don't feel like should be on the list?
I'm just surprised not seeing Final Fantasy there.
I'm gonna get to that.
16.
For me with the list, that's like Game of the Year is like one of these things where it's just like, bruv, the game I usually think's Game of the Year is never wins, sometimes never nominated or never anything. So I try to just approach, just look in and see what's happening in here. You get me, and have an understanding. But one of the things that Game of the Year nominations has done for me is Alan Wake 2 has been on my games I want to play this year list, and it has been getting pushed back further and further and further. But it's like, since it's been released, I've been hearing really good things about it. Obviously, it's made by Remedy studio that I really like. Loved Control. I want to see the games that they're making next. So I think that's just guaranteed that I play this before the Game Awards come out and complete that. Baldur's Gate looks really interesting. Heard lots of hype about it, but doesn't seem like the type of game that interests me personally. So I'm not going to play it. Zelda, I don't really play Zelda. Spider-Man 2, played it, completed it. Think it's great. Do I think it's game? I mean, I don't think it should win Game of the Year. Should it get a nomination? Maybe because of the amount of copies it's sold, and it's a good sequel. But I definitely don't think it should be a winner. Resident Evil 4 haven't played, and Mario as well. Like, it's Mario, so Mario.
You see, with Spider-Man 2, I came across quite a few comments about people completing the game like on a weekend. Is that something that would hold it against, like, when going for Game of the Year?
For me personally, no.
I think it matters. I think for me, in terms of talking about Game of the Year, what we're doing for gaming and stuff like that, if you've got a game that can get completed in a weekend, and when we say complete in a weekend, I mean not like, yo, I bought the game on Friday, I sat down and did nothing else. Spider-Man is like a 25 hours 100% completion game.
That's legit.
For a sequel coming off of another game of two games, I don't think that's great. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it should be maybe like a 70 to 80 100% hour 100% completion, and a 15 to 20 story completion, especially when you've got an open world that is as big as the world they created, and there's so much things that you can do. And it's like, they want you to play and exist and traverse in this world, but they also make it so you can complete it in a weekend. To me, it's like, it seems like just like a throwaway game, like one of the other, like, it's like when you get a Telltale's game. Like, I love Telltale's games, but I know I'm gonna beat this in 2 sittings. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you save it for a particular time, and it's the same issue I kind of had with Control. I loved Control. Beautiful game. Crazy. Everything goes crazy in the game, but about 10 hours, you can 100% platinum it. These games, for me, like, it's a great experience, but I don't think it's like Game of the Year. I don't think 2-3 years later, this is going to be a game we're bringing up and talking about. So, in terms of longevity, I think Spider-Man 2 kind of claps itself. But obviously, it still gets in the conversation because it destroyed in terms of sales, and it's Spider-Man. But with that being said, it kind of frustrates me that Hogwarts Legacy is not, because it's like, when I look at Hogwarts Legacy, they've broken records in terms of sales. They was destroying, like, in terms of, I think it's the most viewed single player game on Twitch when it came, like, it's done crazy historic stuff. Now,
that don't matter when it comes to best game of the year, though.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I believe that's why Spider-Man's on the list. That's why I brought it up in the
because it sold them.
I think it's a super popular character, and it's done great amounts of sales. In terms of the context of the game, pushing gaming forward, it's done zero. Spider-Man's done nothing, bro. It's marginally better than the last game. Like, if anyone says they prefer Miles Morales, I'm not going to be shocked. If anyone says they would rather play the other one, but they've done enough in it for it to be better than those games. So that's the only real reason I can see Spider-Man being on this list. The story's not better than the original game. Like, so that's why I'm bringing up the sales and stuff like that. And also, Hogwarts Legacy is a good game. I think the issue with Hogwarts Legacy came out too early. I think it came out in February. Because it came out in February. I feel like, yeah, bruv, we've just forgotten about you by the time Spider-Man drops in October, 2 months out, big hype. It's in there, man. So I think that the Spider-Man is more of a popularity contest than anything. But yeah, in terms of, I know you brought up Final Fantasy, I know you want to talk about it, but I've not really heard anything about Final Fantasy other than from you, man. You get me? Like, about how good it's going to be and stuff like that. So I was shocked it wasn't going to be there because how much Sam's been talking about it. But when it wasn't, I thought about everything outside of us. I couldn't imagine it being there at all.
To be honest, you do have a point there, because outside of us, besides the people that we've encountered, I haven't really heard much about it, which is also a bit crazy, because when we're talking about like pushing the game and stuff like that, it hits that. Like, I've played about 3 hours of it when we played it, bro. Like, gameplay and the way they've immersed hardcore players, newcomers, normal players. I think it's amazing job what they've done with it. So when we're talking about Game of the Year and pushing the game, pushing the industry, I think they've ticked a really nice box. So for that not to be here, to me, it's insane. And it's Final Fantasy. Who doesn't like Final Fantasy?
Played the paddle juicing Game of the Year. But for me personally, like, I'm pretty sure if you go through the categories in Game of the Year, you'll see Final Fantasy almost everywhere else apart from being obviously Game of the Year, which it blows my mind how you can do that and then not get nominated for that. Because for me, like I said, gameplay wise, it's probably one of the best Final Fantasies I've played. Music wise, it's pretty sick. Narrative wise, it's pretty, like, it ticks like a lot of boxes in aspects of a game where it's like, how can this not be even thought about when it coming to Game of the Year? So when there's other games, like, personally, I wouldn't put remakes in there, but then when you're doing a remake, I guess coming back from when you was first iterated to now and you've done that much of a change, alright, cool, that could be in there. But then when you're coming with another game where it's like, oh, just because it's a popular title, it's sold this much, I don't see how that's pushing anything in terms of like gaming when you're like being so popular. But
I'd want to add, it does push gaming forward, because if you're throwing games up here that casuals are going to buy, and everyone's like, oh, Spider-Man, that pushes gaming forward. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Everyone buying the game. Like, the industry of gaming we've got to make sales. So if this game is the number one selling game, it is legitly pushing gaming forward, if you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say, I get what you're talking about. You're talking about on an industry technical level, but in terms of gaming, the industry, the number one selling game probably should be in the conversation for Game of the Year. This is the same why in the Oscars they were talking about bringing in the most popular category, because it doesn't make sense for a movie to make $2 billion at the box office and then we're not talking about it's being best picture. Because even if it's a terrible movie, even if it's a terrible game, it sold them, like, it did something in the industry. It had a large impact. So I think that game kind of has got to be there. And that's the same kind of thing we're talking about with best remakes. With a remake, we probably don't want a remake being the best game of the year, but at the same time, if this game came out 30 years ago and it's been remade today and is on the top of people's tongues and it's in people's minds, bro, you're in the Game of the Year conversation. You have to be. And this is why when we're talking about the art direction and Zelda, bruv, there's different reasons why it's not just about, all right, listen, this game technically is the best. It's actually it's a full package thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is why when Alan Wake 2 came up and first I saw someone say, oh, it's got the best graphics they've seen all year. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I was already on it. I've definitely got to be on it. But when it got included in Game of the Year, I'm like, there must be something more going on in Alan Wake than just the best graphics. And it being a remake or a sequel to a remake, like, that adds more. That gives me more interest in it than Spider-Man 2. Do you get what I'm saying? So, bruv, I think it's very interesting, the nominees this year, especially with like there not being any kind of hardcore strong front runner. I'm gonna believe, unless it's Zelda. Do you get what I'm saying?
Nah, when I was looking at the conversations, like you said, there is no. I would say on the top 3 would be Zelda, Baldur's Gate, and Alan Wake 2. In the conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Any game of the year where a Zelda game is involved,
it's definitely
the leader.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I'm really interested to see what happens at this game of the year, bro. Like I sit back, bro.
And then, even with the talk of Zelda, it was so weird because obviously critically they were like ramping and raving about 9s and 10s versus tier, and then when it comes to actual, let's say the people who buy the game, then it was like a bit middling from like, was it 7s? No, obviously it doesn't get 7s because obviously people lose their minds. But they say it'll get like 1-7 to like 9s and 10s. But I don't think it got better scores than the previous Zelda one. I can't remember what name that was. And even then people were, because I think that was the highest rated Zelda game of all time. So that's kind of mad. But I feel like Baldur's Gate is definitely in the running because
100%.
of everything it's brought to the gaming, the way it's innovated storytelling, the way it's innovated RPG mechanics. Even it being still turn-based, like that's still not turned people away. Even with
as it shouldn't, and I don't like Final Fantasy for running away from that, man. That's really annoyed me about some of the stuff they're doing.
They're just trying to, like, every single Final Fantasy game, apart from every single Final Fantasy game, it's almost like they're trying to change the way the game plays, regardless of when we call it turn-based to like action RPG or whatever. So it is what it is. But I feel like for me personally, I feel like it's between Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake 2.
Listen, if Alan Wake 2 can, like I said, I'm about to be on Alan Wake 2. So if Alan Wake 2 can pull it off, I would be really happy for them, for Remedy, because I felt like Remedy I feel like they might probably felt that they missed out with Control, it not being an IP.
But that was also a tough year. I
think that they might have think they missed out that year because there wasn't an IP. And now they got the IP attached. They done the quick Alan Wake remake, and then they got into Alan Wake 2 because they knew this series has got the energy that we can really enhance. So, bruv, it's made me really excited for Alan Wake 2 again, bruv. So, yeah, man, I want to see what them man are doing there.
Yeah, man, I'll say like it's been a tough year for gaming anyway. Like, there's been almost a big title every single month, regardless. So, boy, if you get nominated for Game of the Year, it says a lot about your title still. But, guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of the nominees for Game of the Year? Who you rooting for? Who you voted for? Is there a game you think should have been in Game of the Year? Is there a game you think shouldn't be in the running as a nominee? Mad things there. What you're saying Alan Wake 2?
I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to lean towards Alan Wake 2 because it's the game from everything I've seen. It's got most interesting to me. Yeah, man, I'm here. And the nomination's guaranteed, bruv. I'm on it.
What are you saying?
I'm probably gonna go with Zelda because it's Zelda, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, but do you know why that's good, yeah? Because, bro, that's how people will vote, bro. That's how,
because it's Zelda.
Yeah,
bro.
Why did he just pick it, bro? Because
it's Zelda.
That's the point, bro. That is why. That's why it's on the ballot. That's why it might win. That's why it's the front, because of that. At a point where it's like, I don't know. Zelda.
And I feel like Zelda is like the opposite of what I feel about Final Fantasy 16. Sick game, don't hear nothing about it. Zelda, on the other hand, not that it's not sick, but I hear about it all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Even with the younger gen. That's why, to me, it's easy for me to lean on
That's
Zelda.
actually interesting that you say that about the younger gen, because I'm thinking about the art style, yeah.
Bro, all the build-up of the kids, it's
the art
crazy,
style,
bro.
and I'm thinking, bro, that art style is probably so kid-friendly that they know, bro. They know, like, you can build anything, and it kind of looks Minecraft-y-ish. Like, bro, Zelda's gone through too many iterations for them to stay on that art style and that be an oversight. It's not oversight. It's definitely a heavy part of what they're trying to do. So I like that you said that.
I
bro.
definitely think it was something that was in their plans.
100%, bro.
Like I said, Roblox.
100%.
What's the other one? The shooting one as well.
The Fortnite.
Fortnite,
yeah, bro.
That's all the kids are eating up these days, bro.
100%, definitely, bro. Strategical, crazily, fam.
I still disagree. It's terrible. It's terrible. But like you're saying, it's a platform for like Nintendo, so that's where they're gonna end towards anyway. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna say Baldur's Gate 3. To be honest, I'm still on RPGs. Them man bringing back turn-based the way it is.
Have you played it? Are you jumping on?
I've been living through it vicariously. One of them things there, and I'm like, there's definitely one game I definitely want to play before the end. Well, I say before the end of the year. That's probably not gonna be possible. But like, I've played like Winter Nights, all the other kind of games, but I never really played a Baldur's Gate like title. So the fact that this main came back, I think it's over 10 years, so many years, and now they brought back a title and everyone's jumped on it. I'm like, you know, this might be the one for me. So I'm gonna say Baldur's Gate 3 still. Come on. But guys, appreciate you for being here, and we'll see you on the next video. I'm sorry, Mr. Blitztech.
Revenue GS.
J1 for the Sabiners.
Peace.